Okay, so weird cut in at the beginning. Hey, this is Dean in Post. This project has kicked my ass and I am tired of it. Basically, this was supposed to be ready to go in mid-January, and it was going to be this huge, big project with clips and images and lots of fancy editing, and then YouTube copyright hated all of it. So as a result of that, after fighting with this for 3 months and communicating and miscommunicating with Jace, we just finally said, fuck it. We cut all of it and we're just going to upload it as like the raw audio file. So just have this on in the background while you're doing chores or anything else. That's it. Next episode, we're going to go back to being large scale editing because I'm going to have a lot that I'm going to have to do. But for this one, it's just the audio. It's just going to be the regular clip. So you'll get more of all the fancy stuff in the future. And for now, we'll leave you with this. Sorry it took so long to get this out, but hopefully you guys still enjoy the episode.
Ow, my neck.
Did you fucking break your neck right as we started this?
Yeah, I just
Good
rolled
Lord.
my neck out of force of habit, and then it just popped 7 times.
Popped it super hard.
Yeah.
No, when we were talking about how I did the Hero Factory Bionicle thingies.
Yeah.
No, that fucking Lego store in town is super legit, actually.
I've actually been meaning to like swing in there. Like, what do they got? What's their
So
spiel?
they have like, I mean, they have a lot of the new sets that come out.
Mm-hmm.
They have like it's called certified used sets. So if people bring back their sets and have everything that is like the instruction manual and all that stuff, then they'll put it for sale, which is actually where I got those Hero Factory things.
That's cool as hell.
Unfortunately, Bionicles are very few and far between there.
I believe that.
Usually they're already like put together, so it's not.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck ever. I don't care.
There was a so one day I ended up stumbling on a Lego talk somehow, and I don't know how. And I found this girl that is like literally just thirst trapping, and then she had a video where it's like, man, I don't know why guys don't want me. I got a dump truck ass and I got Bionicles. That's everything a man wants, right? And I was like, honestly,
Yes,
honestly,
literally that is all. We are simple creatures, I promise.
exactly. It's great. Anyway,
Speaking of simple creatures,
welcome to Kotalksu, the talk show out of Kotatsu. I'm one of your hosts, your boy Dean Stay Night.
and I'm Jace. Hello.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be interesting. This is as far as like what has been released or recorded. This will be our first anime only podcast.
Yeah.
Because everything else has been kind of about like Smash World Tour and like Smash stuff and like we don't really want to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of wanted to talk about it to kind of get our grounds with our podcast and talk about recent events and all that kind of stuff. So
And that was kind of like, it was very topical at the time, so it kind of like interrupted all of the plans that we had, and it just steamrolled forward ahead on that.
had it not been as big as like the Smash World Tour getting canceled, then we probably wouldn't have focused on it too much. But
Yeah.
it was kind of a big deal. But now we're kind of getting to what we like initially wanted to do this podcast for, which was anime.
Yeah.
So
I guess we can just kind of go ahead and start with kind of what this podcast is going to be about. Basically just any like, primarily anime, but then any other like manga, visual novels, I don't think either of us read any light novels. I strongly doubt. Actually,
I don't think I've read a light novel. So.
I read the first 2 volumes of Baccano, so I could talk about that if I wanted to. Probably not going to.
You could obsess about your love for Baccano too.
I can. Yeah, fuck it. We're just going to talk about shit that we like, that we started this year. And
Of some kind.
Yeah.
Before we do that, our like drink of the week. So at the liquor store my dad owns here in town, we got in these like boozy like decaf K cups. Which
Wait, this is decaf?
it is decaf.
God
actually.
damn it! I'm actually upset.
I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd be upset about
This
it.
is actually deeply upsetting.
But yeah, so we got like these boozy K cups that are called. I think it's Cask and Kettle. I think it's something like that.
Yeah. I'll have the thing.
Yeah,
on
they've got like 4 different flavors, and it's 37.5% alcohol content.
Rookie numbers.
And so
Amateur numbers. Bump those up.
So surely this will not go terribly when we have a Smash bracket to go to later.
Oh, absolutely not. This is perfect setup for that.
But we are drinking the mint patty coffee variant. I think they have like a medium roast. They have an Irish coffee flavor, and then there's one other one I don't.
They have to have like a caramel or like a mocha, right?
we didn't get one like that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because it was mainly around Christmas time, so they mainly wanted to focus on like, the Irish patty. We might get more.
That makes sense though. If it was like holiday season, so that's.
I tell you what though, shit's good.
You were not expecting this to like taste good at all.
No, I wasn't.
I saw what it was, and I knew. Okay, so Laura and Dean, I knew that I was gonna love that because in the morning, right, I used to like brush my teeth and then pour my coffee, and then immediately go to like school for show card practice when I was in high school. And so my coffee would just like taste slightly of mint, just throughout all of high school. So I've just gotten used to that flavor, and this is like oddly nostalgic and then boozy. So it's everything that I want.
It's everything you could possibly want except caffeinated.
Yeah.
And we're drinking water. Just in
Yeah.
case anyone's curious.
Oh boy, everyone.
Yeah.
Hydrate or dihydrate. Shoutouts to r/hydro homies, where they slut shame you for not drinking water.
Also, our setup here has gotten like increasingly more
Convoluted.
congested.
Yeah.
So you obviously can't see it at home, but we got like a giant dark magician statue on our fucking table now.
There's a Wrigley.
There's a Wrigley
There's the Fate Grand Carnival, Mashu, and Gudako.
and a Samus morph ball, stress ball.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty epic. I might just take a picture of this and throw it on screen.
Yeah, why not? We can do that later.
Yeah, fuck it.
If you're confused as to why there's a keyboard and mouse sitting on the table, though, it's because I actually have my computer hooked up to the TV that we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm just doing everything off of my keyboard, so I don't have my giant laptop sitting in front of my face.
the setup has gotten significantly like it has changed. I won't say better or worse until we get a little bit more experience on this.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The big I would say the biggest change is that the mic is we only have one mic between us now.
Yep.
Because as a lot of you have probably noticed, we have had a lot of audio issues with each other clipping in each other's mics.
Yep.
So we wanted to see how it would look with just one mic. Hopefully, I mean, I got a bit of stuff for Christmas, so I'm hoping to possibly get an XLR setup, and maybe that'll basically just fix all of our issues. So.
And XLR setups are really, really nice.
Yeah.
If you have like a decent quality microphone for it, then it's night and day difference.
Exactly.
So,
anywho, all right, let's get this show on the road.
yeah. I guess we can do your list of what you watched and read, or we can do my list.
Because I know for sure we have two new shows that we watched this year, and then one that we rewatched.
Yeah. Three. Maybe another one because I watched Mob season 1 for the first time.
Oh, that's right, you did watch Mob season 1.
So yeah, you do your list first, then I'll do mine.
So I've got. I mean, we can just kind of bounce off each other too.
Okay.
So I didn't read and watch a whole lot this year, unfortunately. I've got 5 things listed for the whole year.
Nice.
And one of them is a rewatch. So.
Add a lad. Why is Mal not loading? God damn it.
And just so you can know what my list is, I've got Mob Psycho, Bocchi the Rock, My Dress Up Darling, Higurashi, When They Cry, and Heaven's Feel as my rewatch.
Okay. So this year, for anime that I watched My Dress Up Darling, Spy Family, Kaguya-sama Season 3, Lycoris Recoil, Ruby Ice Queendom, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Akiba Maid War, Blue Lock, Bocchi the Rock, Chainsaw Man. It's just recently started The Eminence in Shadow. And for manga that I read all of Kaguya, caught up with Oshi no Ko, started Demon Lord, Elfwife, whatever the fuck that one title is, caught up to Record of Ragnarok, and I think I started like 2 or 3 other like basically one-shot mangas that are done now.
Dude,
so
you can tell how well I've been keeping up with things that I started watching this year when I totally forgot that I also watched Spy Family this year.
yeah.
Totally forgot about that. I haven't actually watched season 2 at all, so.
Okay. I was. What did you think of Spy Family Part 1 before I tear into it?
So, I mean, I guess Spy Family can be the first thing we talk about.
At this point, just go for it.
So, I would say at the beginning, I thought, or I actually had a similar reaction to watching this at the beginning that I did Bocchi, where it would just like, it filled me with so much, oh my god, this is amazing.
Sure.
I was just having so much fun with it.
Sure.
Unfortunately, obviously I'm not going to say Spy Family is like a bad show. I still think the show is pretty good. It definitely felt like it kind of like missed the point of what it was like. It feel like it deviated from what it wanted to do a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Because like you have this big overarching story of there's the secret organization that they're trying to destroy the world and all that kind of nonsense. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that story was like, I don't know. I feel like the story doesn't get enough recognition within the actual anime itself most of the time.
Like they kind of ignore that like spy plot point. Okay.
Which, you know, take that as you will. Obviously, I know that the whole idea is that, you know, Lloyd is trying to keep it under wraps that he's actually doing that, so maybe that's why. And I know there's a whole lot of... I feel like it just gets kind of jumbled in a lot of scenarios. Like, it feels like they lose track of what they're wanting to do a lot of the times.
I don't know if I'd say that it loses track. I can see where you're coming from with that. I think that for me, like, what they choose to focus on in part 1 is, like, because there's part 1 and then part 2. Season 2 is announced for, like, later 2023.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that it missed for me was, like, who it's focusing on. Because I think all the stuff with
I think
Lloyd,
that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
It loses focus on who it actually wants to focus the story on.
Yeah, because like all the stuff with Lloyd being a spy is cool as hell.
It's cool as shit.
The little we get of Yor being an assassin in both parts 1 and 2, which pisses me off that there's not more of that. Give me more of assassin mommy, please.
Please.
But the little of that we get is awesome, and everything with Anya in her goddamn elementary school pisses me off to no fucking end. I want to punt her football-shaped head through uprights. It would be the most satisfying field goal I have ever done.
So Anya definitely was one of those characters that, like, at the beginning I was like, oh, this is fucking adorable. I love this character. And then it just kept it felt like it was the same jokes over and over and over and over again. And I was just like, I feel like they could have done so much more with this. Especially when you have a spy as your dad and an assassin as your mother. That whole like concept, that setup is so great for so much comedy.
Not to mention the dad's a spy, the mom's an assassin, the kid's a telepath, and the dog can see the future. That setup is baller as hell.
Good. It's so good.
And they decide to just fuck around with an elementary school art project for like 3 episodes. Why?
Yeah. Which kind of goes into I feel like they kind of lost direction with what they wanted to do, because I don't know. I feel like it was kind of unnecessary to spend 3 episodes on it. Because, like, don't get me wrong, her getting into the school was a really cool, like, section of the story.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole scene with, you know, trying to fight the guy who was, like, just giving her a bunch of shit.
Oh, like the interview?
Yeah. And then there's the whole characterization of, like, she clearly has some, like, trauma from, like, for previous parents and all that kind of stuff. That built it up so well, and then I feel like we just never heard anything about it after that.
I feel like it's one of those things where maybe there was supposed to be more emphasis on that, or like maybe we're going to get more of that, but I need more like foreshadowing of that, more things of that. Yeah. And like we're not... It just... The first half of part 1 is genuinely one of the strongest like opens to
and that's why,
any show I've seen this season.
That's why I was... By the way, I will say, the season 2 opening is like the actual like OP is like pretty good.
The season 2 ED though?
Season 2 ED is also very good, but I have to give special shout out to the season 1 OP and ED, because those are like those are 2 songs that I play on loop in my car all the fucking time. I love those. Mixed Nuts and what's it called? God, I can't remember what the name was.
Magic of editing. Yeah. Put it on the screen.
It's there. But seriously, I listen to those 2 songs so many fucking times because they're just so catchy and so good.
They're very like the whole like music score. I would say like I've just like learned how to just play along with some of it, and it would fit right into like a 50s, 60s like Bond Mission Impossible
comedy.
Like,
that's what the song was called.
The song was just called.
The song is called Comedy. Yes.
Nice. But yeah, like the whole music, the production value for that show was insane, and there was clearly a lot of love put into it. Mm-hmm. I just wish the story was different to what I wanted it to be.
Yeah,
because that would have been objectively better.
At the end of the day, it's like, you know, we just didn't like it as much as other people because the story didn't do what we wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Other people probably feel differently. They think it's going exactly how they want it to, and it's totally fine.
But it wasn't what I want, therefore bad.
It's bad. No, that show is fine.
It's the most, like, 7 out of 10 thing I watched all year, and it's not even, like, a fun 7 out of 10. It's just a depressing 7.
It's a depressing 7 out of 10. Yeah, I just wish they would focus a little bit more on like the actual like story plot stuff that they want to set up, and not just like the random shit that happens in their day-to-day lives. Which, by the way, obviously a lot of random shit is going to happen in your day-to-day lives if your family is as weird as this one. But that being said, I did watch the first part of season 2. I just remembered, and like the whole arc where they're getting the dog.
Yeah,
was awesome.
That arc was also awesome because it was more spy shit.
And then they went back to school.
Yeah, why? Just let her be homeschooled now. Damn it.
Honest to God, that's the way to change it.
That would improve the show drastically. How are you going to get in? Oh, now he has to be an office worker for Donovan, whatever the fuck. Spy Family gets COVID, and it's all like, and it's school from
Throw
home.
COVID in the mix.
It's
Why
school
not?
from home. There you go. Story saved.
Surely that won't, cause any controversy.
No, it's basically just like 50s Germany. That basically is what it is.
Yeah, I suppose.
The capital's called Berlin. It's not even subtle.
Berlin. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's not even remotely subtle.
So yeah, Spy Family, we give a resounding, could have been better out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say.
I think that's a very fair grade for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was like watching everything from like spring, kind of like back to back to back, the thing that I was like, oddly, if I had the most fun with was Dress Up Darling, Son of Nobisque Doll.
Oh, dude,
Like-
that show is so good. Actually,
Like other than Kaguya, which is like my number 0 of the year, just like
yeah.
I won't even like mention it.
you know,
Like Dress Up Darling was like the best romance of the year. I would say.
Genuinely, I'm not sure what I was expecting going into Dress Up Darling because, like, I love rom-coms. I love slice of life shit. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
But, when I had initially seen, like, because, there's a lot of Art of Marine out there.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this, like, what the show is going to be like, And it kind of had me worried a little bit that it was just going to be raunchy shit. And don't get me wrong. There is
a little
raunchy shit in there, but it's done well.
It's tasteful, etchy.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. And it's,
like-
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
And like it makes sense given the context of what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, random panty shot for no reason. It's like, well,
he has to measure her weight.
Yeah, because she's a cosplayer, so like he
has to do this.
Yeah, he needs her measurements. It's like,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's I will say like the thing that I think pissed me off a little bit, or I was like, this could have been done better, was like the scene where like she hard catches feelings for him. Because like that just felt like a cliche, and for like the sake of having a cliche,
Where she just like freaks out and she's like, holy shit, I'm in love, holy shit.
No, the scene on the train, like coming back from the cosplay like festival.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, earlier he said like, I only say the word beautiful when I truly mean it.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like dozing off. He's like, you looked beautiful. I'm asleep now. And then she like blushes and it's like, I love him now. Tee-hee. It's like, come on, man.
I disagree only because I thought that was cute as fuck.
I also thought it was cute as fuck, but I thought
it is pretty cliche.
Yeah, but like
done as well as you can with a cliche like that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually noticed my Marine keychain hanging up there,
No,
right above my Spy Family keychains.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
they're on the tier list,
and right behind Marine is the Millennium Puzzle.
Also on the tier list.
Also on the tier
The Millennium Puzzle, best girl.
Can we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for a second?
Sure.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Let's not detract. I might talk about it later, but
Yeah.
I did actually watch. I actually just remembered. I did actually rewatch most of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh series.
Why?
Because I love it.
Okay, fair.
So much. I will talk about it later.
All right. So,
Dress Up Darling.
I think like one of the things I actually really liked about Dress Up Darling was like the whole like they did the miscommunication well, where it's like it firmly established both characters and it was like used for characterization instead of like laughs, because like the whole like miscommunication of like, oh, when's the deadline, and so he like finishes it in a weekend overnight, and like doesn't sleep at all, and he gives her like a text like, I'm done, I'm gonna go to bed now, and then she comes over and is like, how did you finish this so fast? And then he told her everything, and she's like, my guy, I just said whenever. Oh shit, my bad. And then like that whole
which is an excellent way to show that. Why am I blanking on his name?
Gojo.
I almost said Goto, and I was like, no,
Close.
that was
Close.
like, nope, that's Bochi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sets up how like passionate Gojo is about this kind of stuff, and how like much he was like, holy shit, I need to do this kind of thing, and then also setting up Marine is just like, the fuck, like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. And then like she also like is just so remorseful and like, oh no, like this is miscommunication because I wasn't clear, and then she like starts crying over it and is like, she's a real human being and not just a hip wiggle.
A doll.
Yeah.
As the name would imply.
Yeah. No, I thought the show was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
Also, the ending. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt. It hurt so much.
I'm definitely going to talk
in
about
a good way.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be talking about that one more when I do my top 10 anime of the year video on my own channel. I'll link to that when that happens.
Selfless plug.
Absolute. A selfless plug? An unselfish plug? Yeah, no, I have a lot more that I could say about that show, but I genuinely might bump the score up to an 8. I liked it a lot.
It's a really fucking good show, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I also gave it an 8 on my Mal. Mm-hmm. But
on my Mal, I have it at a 7. But fuck it, I'm bumping it up to an 8 right now.
But yeah, My Dress Up Darling, it gets a weird amount of hate.
I can see why.
I can kind of understand why, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, it's one of those, like, people automatically judge it without actually having seen the show, you know?
Yeah.
So they just automatically assume, oh, it's, etchy grossness. It's like...
There's, like, one ecchi gross scene that I wish was not there. With the younger sister, and she's like, I want to do the cosplay too, but the character I want to play is a man, and I have quadruple D's.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're in middle school, miss. I don't need this in my life. Please get off my screen.
At the end of the day, it's an anime. That kind of shit just happens.
It kind of happens, and it's
comes with the medium usually.
Unfortunately, but then they dedicate one episode or like half of an episode to like doing it, and then it's never done again.
Nope.
But thank God.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
And it's weird to because that show came out this year, right? Mm-hmm. It does not feel like that show came. It feels like it's been around for like a couple years.
That was winter 2023.
Or
22.
22. We're in the future now?
Yes. Well, we're time travelers.
Shit. It's not even New Year's yet.
You hooked up the flip phone to the microwave, and now look at it.
Though at the same time, this video might actually be out on New Year's.
Oh, so. It's going to be out for New Year's.
Happy New Year, everyone.
I'm going to try my best to get like this and everything else taken care of.
Yeah.
It just depends on how busy my Thursday, Friday are.
And I promise the Fate episode is coming. We just need to get everyone together for the Fate episode.
Yeah, fucking Ryan. God damn it.
Ryan. So yeah, I think that's enough on Dress Up Darling, at least.
I think for now.
There was another certain 2022 show that came out recently that.
You want to talk about? Okay.
Man, do I want to talk about Bocchi?
Talk about. I'll let you pop out for a minute before I. Yeah.
So I mentioned how with Spy Family, you know, I had the initial like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome, and then it just kind of like teetered out after a while. Mm-hmm. That never happened with Bocchi. Bocchi, I got the immediate, oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome, and it just stayed that way. I don't know. The idea that this show is like 90... It's one of the same reasons why... I thought about this. It's one of the same reasons why I like Snafu. Mm-hmm. Because in Snafu, 90% of the dialogue is Hachiman's inner monologues. And like his like perceptions on things and how he deals with certain things and how he feels about certain things. And I think that's such a great like writing piece. I think it's awesome. Bocchi did the same thing, albeit in a completely different way. And a much more funny way.
Yeah.
Where 90% of it is Bocchi trying to come to grips with the fact that she is, you know, still the biggest introvert on the planet and doesn't know how to talk to people.
she has crippling social anxiety, and it's played for comedy, but not in a demeaning way.
Yeah, but not in a, oh, you know, how dare you have social anxiety. It's like, this is just how people are sometimes.
Yeah, and like literally the fact that every character in the show is like wholeheartedly supportive of her for it.
Exactly.
It's like, they're like, oh, sorry, I guess we pushed you a little bit too far. We'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah.
It's like, that happens,
but
like she's never demeaned for having social anxiety.
Because I'm one of those people that like, you know, I come off as very extroverted when in reality I actually have really bad social anxiety. I hate trying to fucking talk to people. It's so hard.
Same.
So watching this show where this character is just so bad at it and like you know, obviously there are some points where she has like really bad social anxiety and she reacts in a way where I'm just like, that's hilarious. But there's other times where it's like, oh yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, like I think the street performance scene was a great example of like conquering that a little bit. The steps towards progress.
Yeah, it felt like that was her first step towards conquering her social anxiety demons.
Yeah, and then that directly led into my favorite scene of the year, just straight up in anything that isn't Kaguya. My favorite scene of the year, the guitar solo.
Dude, can we just all right? I want to just sit here and talk about that scene specifically for a while.
Okay. Can I start on this one actually?
Yes, you can.
Because when I was like,
as both of us being music nerds,
yeah,
like
when that scene like first kicked off, and they like had the smaller crowd coming in, and like because tsunami, it's like the people aren't gonna like brave the storm for this concert, and then like they saw this smaller like 5-6 person crowd. Having been in a band that's done something similar to that shit is hard.
Yeah,
it is so hard to like be like full energy or like close to that, and it does like throw off your game. It does like actually kind of like mess with how in sync the band is. So when the band starts playing their first song, and then Bochi's like commenting to herself, "We're off." Something like she's off
Something
here,
is wrong.
she's off here, like, and she's like making all those notes. I have literally had to do that.
Yep.
I've literally done that in a band, like in an actual like performance setting, and then like having that one moment like, fuck it, I'm saving this show, and then just like starting off something on your own, everyone else jumps in, and then it just like this unexpected masterpiece thing happens.
Yeah.
Like I have literally done that.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking cool.
It's so cool. And the fact that she was able to set aside her social anxiety to be able to pull off something like that, but then also immediately realize, holy shit, I'm still socially anxious. I think that's what was great, is that they show her having these moments of overcoming her fears, but then also, you know, not automatically being like, all right, she's good now.
Yeah.
You know, it still has to bring her back to how she actually is as a person, and you know, super apologetic and all that stuff. So.
She gets victories, which are progress. She isn't cured.
Yeah, which then, you know, to a lesser extent, the final episode where they had the performance in front of the school where her guitar string broke.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be hard pressed to find any musician, you, me, or anyone else who hasn't had something like that happen before.
Yeah.
Where
that
it's
shit
like
sucks.
Like for me, for example, you know, I was in show choir, you know, I was in band, all that stuff. I would say there was definitely a couple times where, you know, even when you're in a choir and you're in like a bigger group, it's less noticeable. But like I could tell I was being pitchy.
Yeah.
You know, where I just wouldn't be able to hit things. I'm like, this is what is happening. I can't fucking. So I just had to try to salvage what I could, and it's really, really stressful. And I mean, you know. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't have like the big like, oh, I can fix this with a bottle solution, but
yeah, that's the beauty of being the lead guitar player. You can do whatever the fuck you want,
and people will fucking love it.
Yeah,
because I remember seeing like when they started just like, she's playing with a bottle. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's like, I was like, I'd react the same way. That's fucking cool as shit.
That shit. First off, that's cool as hell. Second off, that's hard as hell.
Yeah,
that shit is so fucking hard to do.
Which is another great play on just showing how, despite the fact she is this tiny, you know,
anxiety-ridden child,
she is a fucking killer at the guitar.
Yeah, she is the literal guitar hero.
Also, the Guitar Hero jokes are hilarious.
Oh, they're all incredible.
Also, okay, the other thing I want to like pay special like motion to, and I kind of mentioned this with like her inner monologues. Pretty much all of her inner monologues have like their own special animations,
and they're all incredible.
And they're all amazing. Like, what?
I don't know which one's my favorite. My favorite's either burning her at the stake or the like de-evolution of the model and yeeting it into the bowling pins.
Those two are definitely. I also loved there was two like claymation ones.
Yeah,
where they had her as like a slug. That shit was fucking hilarious.
That one was great. Anytime she like goes Super Saiyan or like turns into like petals, like I'm convinced that the entire universe sees this around her and they're like, this actually happens.
Oh, the biggest like, oh, I felt that moment was, I think it was the last episode where she gets like all that money from her dad, and she was like, I could use this to just pay off everything and I don't have to work. And then she was like going Super Saiyan and shit. Like I'm gonna tell my boss I'm quitting.
Yeah.
And then she got it to her sister. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm really thankful to be working for you.
Yeah.
It's like I fucking felt that because you can have as much like confidence in yourself to do that kind of shit, but as soon as you get there, it's just like,
dude, quitting a job is the hardest fucking thing.
it's
as an
hard,
adult.
dude. Especially if you like it, you know. But you're just leaving for like personal reasons.
Yeah. It's oddly like
so
vindictive
hard.
when you get to leave a job that you hate though.
That is true.
That's
true.
That's really satisfying.
See, I don't know about you. That shit's easy for me.
I
If I'm at a job I hate, I will put my 2 weeks in without even like a second thought.
I just hate confrontation.
That's fair. Yeah.
So it's like if I can avoid confrontation, sure.
Yeah.
But like if someone is like confronting me, then it's like me specifically attacking my character, then I am not backing down. Mm-hmm. How dare you?
Obviously, you know, hard to also back on Bochi. Hard to talk about Bochi without talking about like the soundtrack.
Oh god, every track is a banger.
Every track is a banger. I mean, the whole show is based around music. That's just if the show didn't have a banger soundtrack, there'd be an issue.
Again, the guitar solo scene, that song, that band is like it's in my just like regular rotation of music in addition
really?
to like my anime playlist. Yeah,
You should show me what that is later because I'm actually curious.
will do.
I like to listen to their stuff.
Because yeah, they're all on Spotify.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as Kasoku Band.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's,
it's baller.
oh, that's so awesome.
It's so cool. Bochi is real.
Yeah.
Bochi is real.
As real as can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music is great. There's not really a character I don't like.
No, I
think like the closest that would be to like a character I don't like would be what is her name? The drunk. What's her name?
Oh shit! I know who you're talking about.
Hiroi.
Yeah, Hiroi.
Kikuri.
Kikuri. Yeah, I like her.
She is yeah, because I feel like that was supposed to be like the one character that's like, I don't know how I feel about them. Nah, she's fucking awesome.
I like her.
Because
Yeah.
because I think my initial, and this might have been just me, this might have been anybody else too, but like my initial reaction when I watched the opening, by the way, banger fucking opening. Love that opening. Mm-hmm. Super, super stylistic, super, super cool. When they showed Kikuri, it made her look like a villain. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna be like the villain character." And then like she's just a drunk.
she's just a happy, wholesome drunk that like helps get over social anxiety.
Yeah. Well, because after that episode where they did like the street performance, I was just like, so she's not a villain? And I'm confused now.
and then like 2 episodes later, she's one of the first ones to show up for the performance. It's like, yeah. I really like her. I am
big Psycho fan.
I will actually like if I ever meet someone that is like Seika Ijichi, I saw that character and I'm like,
Me.
I am down bad.
Want.
I am down bad.
Need.
Bro, she just radiates this aura of like I am cool.
Yeah.
And like
she's
hot and she's cool.
She has badass sister vibes.
Yeah.
And which is her whole character.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she's just the badass older sister.
Then obviously you got Nijika. I adore her.
Yeah.
She is so cute with her little Dorito hair.
I think Nijika might be my favorite other than Hitori.
I think I agree, actually. I think when I initially started watching the show, I think I was telling myself, I'm like, Nijika is definitely going to be my favorite, like 100%, because she is just like me.
I think like if I was to like rank the bandmates, it'd go Hitori, Nijika, Kita, and then Ryo. And not even because Ryo is bad, but just so like
see, and that's the thing, right? Is like none of them are bad.
Yeah, I'm ranking the S tiers. I'm not like
Ryo is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she's great.
I love her. But yeah, Nijiko is definitely going to be like my favorite character just because of how similar she is to like me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because she's just like I want help. I want to help you.
She is bright and cheerful, but also has a social battery, unlike Kita, who is just boundless energy.
And also a pretty interesting backstory too.
Yeah.
That we found out.
Yeah.
Which also was the one time in the show that made me cry.
That it made me cry when I first watched it.
And she says Bochi the Rock, and then I was like,
yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
And then Kita's great. I mean, just the overly
Kieta's that one extrovert friend that everyone has, where it's like, we're going out and you don't have a say in this.
You don't get a choice.
Yep.
She's the extrovert that isn't like full of herself. You know.
Yeah.
She's the extrovert that just loves like people.
You know what she is? She's the popular girl in high school that you like. There's something's wrong. There's something off about her.
Yeah.
And then you meet her and there's nothing wrong. Like, I
100%.
I want to dislike you, but I can't because you're
can't.
such a great person. Genuinely.
And like, cause like, I also love how like unapologetically gay she is. It's
Oh
hilarious.
god, she's so gay.
How I mean, to be fair, like,
Yeah.
can you blame her? Sometimes?
If I was a woman and if I was a lesbian, I would absolutely be into Rio.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Rio.
Yeah. Bass player, bonus points.
God, she's so goddamn funny.
I love... When I first saw her, I definitely thought that she was just going to be copy-paste Rei Ayanami, but bass player.
Yeah.
And no, she's actually like the funniest character in the show.
Now, I would say, because if we're valuing like just how much I enjoyed the character, excluding Bochi because she is like the best character, that's not even close. Nijiko would be my second favorite. Now, if we're ranking characters based on like comedy value, Rio is by far the best one outside of Bochi. She is so goddamn funny.
Oh yeah. No, I genuinely don't think of like I made this point when I was like looking through and like rating like every single like show that I watched this year. And it was like Bochi has my favorite cast because every single character, even the ones that are only like one or two notes, they're all done well. Yeah. There's not a single character that I look at and I think there's not more to this person. They're just this trope.
Like the girl who's with like the other manager of the what is her, does she have a name?
Yeah, it's Pie-san.
Is it Pie-san? Okay.
Yeah, it's right there on the fucking wiki.
Well, I didn't know if that was like her name.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's she doesn't get a name. She's Pie-san.
I guess so.
Yeah. I look at her and I'm like, okay, there's more to you. It is just, do we want to learn your backstory? You know?
Honestly, no. I think I'm okay with her just kind of being this cheerful goth girl.
Fair enough.
She is adorable.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, we could fucking go on forever about this show. I 100% for me anyway. Anime of the year. I don't.
It's
care.
mine too. It's mine too.
It's just I don't know. This show just hit so many fucking marks for me. How relatable it is. How funny it is. How just the interesting concept behind it of being like this band that has to get over like their own personal issues to come together as like one cohesive unit.
I would say like if you're not typically a fan of the cute girls doing cute things genre, this is the one of the two shows that could get you to change your mind.
I would agree. 100%.
Yeah, the show is excellent.
There's just because I feel like there's just so much in this show for like everybody.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. The show is incredible.
Yeah, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I also love I've seen a lot of art recently of people eating Nijiko's Dorito chip off of her head. It's so goddamn funny.
It's the most expressive ahoge since Saber.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of Saber, segue into Heaven's Feel rewatch. It's spectacular. Trilogy's great. Loved rewatching it basically annually now.
Yeah, pretty much. I definitely, since watching it in 2020, 2020, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Since watching it in 2020, I have rewatched it every year because it is just that fucking good.
It's great. It's a great trilogy.
Watch Fate.
Yeah.
Please. I'm begging you.
So,
what
else?
The other thing we can talk about that both of us have seen, or at least you saw the first part of it, Mob Psycho.
Oh, sure.
Sure. I have not seen season 3 yet.
I haven't seen season 2 or 3.
You haven't seen season 2 or 3, so we're a little bit,
Yeah.
But, man, what is there to say about fucking Mob Psycho that hasn't already been said yet? It
is like the battle shonen done
correctly.
Right. Yeah.
Done correctly. The way this is how every shonen should look and be.
Yes.
Because the characters are all good. The writing is fantastic. The fights are fucking gorgeous. The soundtrack is amazing.
It doesn't talk down to you like every other shonen.
It doesn't. Yeah,
does.
it doesn't make you feel stupid.
Yeah.
Or like, it doesn't make it feel like you should like, like it. They have to repeat themselves over and over and over again.
Like compare it to the other big bones shonen, My Hero. Like My Hero will constantly like explain the character's thought processes because whoever is in charge of that adaptation wants the characters to explain verbatim what's happening in every scene because that's what you do in a manga so that the reader can know, okay, that's what this flashy line work means. In a show, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And Mob Psycho understands that you don't have to do that in a show.
Which, in that sense, you could call it a good adaptation. That doesn't make it a good show.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, if you feel the need to tell me what I can so clearly see with my eyes that is happening on screen, you are talking down to me as the viewer and insulting my intelligence.
That being said,
Mob Psycho doesn't do that.
Yeah. That being said, I legit, I'm not even lying to you, am like half tempted to watch season 6 of My Hero because I've heard very good things about it. Surprisingly.
Is this the one where Deku just becomes Spider-Man?
No. That comes... This is the build-up to that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I know. I know that he literally just becomes Spider-Man at one point. Like, all of it... He just straight up, all of his powers are just that.
Yeah.
Like, he gets a spider sense, and they're
just seeing some of the clips and like what's happening like with this part of the story actually genuinely seems kind of interesting. So I might check it out just to feel a little bit better about the show because I did used to like the show a lot, and now I don't.
I'm not going to. The show pissed me off irredeemably in season 3.
I sure did.
Yup.
You and me both.
Yup.
Anyway, back to Mob Psycho. When I made my like initial top 10 after watching the show, I had to make special note that if I was going purely by like how mechanically good an anime is, Mob Psycho would probably be 1 or 2.
Yeah,
because that show, watching that show, it was very hard to point out flaws.
I think without having watched seasons 2 or 3, even season 1 is like such a clear cut above every other shonen in its class. Like, maybe Hunter x Hunter, maybe JoJo, maybe Full Metal, sure, whatever.
Which is the craziest part, because especially in your situation where you haven't seen season 2, they somehow made it better. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
That's what everyone keeps telling me.
That's what everyone kept telling me too. And then I watched season 2 and I'm like, there's no fucking way. They actually did that. How the fuck did they do that?
The only thing that I know about like season 3 is that it made Ishii cry. And
it is also like apparently just the end of the series too.
Oh shit! I didn't actually know that.
From my what I've seen and from my understanding, it is the end of Mob Psycho. That is the last season that's coming out for Mob Psycho.
Then you know what? I'm glad that if it's as good as people were saying on like Twitter and Reddit and stuff, I'm glad that it got the ending it deserved because that's a series that became so popular so fast and maintained its level of quality, which no other show has done.
I would say that's the craziest thing about it is that it was able to run for 3 seasons and keep this very consistent level of holy shit, this is amazing throughout the entire time. Yeah. Or it got better. One of the two.
Yeah. Like if you're like, oh man, it was an off day for me, is an 8 out of 10. That's a pretty good show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, seriously, for any of you who are just even like slightly a shonen fan, if you haven't fucking watched this show yet, you need to.
Yeah.
It is not even just from the sense that you will enjoy the show, because you will. Like, I have zero doubt in my mind. I haven't met a single person who doesn't like this show.
Yeah.
Just from how important this show is, from like from a mechanical aspect, where it's just this is the kind of quality that shows can have and they should have.
This is the like anyone that says Attack on Titan, fuck off. This is the generation defining show.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Like, it doesn't matter what other like series you are a fan of, it doesn't matter what other genres you like. This is like what you want to wrap up the 2010s in like a 10 shows, or like wrap up like this era, because like every other era before us has had their like title show.
Yeah.
This is like the 2010s in a show.
100%. Yeah, I mean when the argument, I mean I'm sure people have already talked about what is the best like anime of the decade and stuff like that.
it's like...
I think it should be Mob Psycho.
Can I talk about a show that's bad real quick?
Yes.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna talk about what's on my sweatshirt right now.
Yeah, I am. I am. So
I'm wearing a Ruby sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Just so people know, because as much as I hate the show, I have a lot of merch from them still, and
Yeah.
I do for lack of judgment. I think their merch is actually pretty cool.
the merch is pretty decent. Like, don't get me wrong.
It looks very cool.
Yeah,
and if you didn't know it was Ruby, you'd just be like, oh, it's a cool sweatshirt.
Yeah. But no, I decided I had like a head cold and I didn't want to watch shows that I like actually give a damn about. So I decided that I was gonna watch all of Ruby Ice Queendom, and talk about a show that is like 1 or 2 revisions and another like 6 months in production from being good.
Yeah, because like it genuinely,
like the show had a lot of potential to be good and expand on and improve things that were like fundamental flaws in Volume 1. And then they just rushed it out because Rooster Teeth are bastards and said, "Here you go, Shaft, do your best." And then
even
shows
even outside of the whole fucking Rooster Teeth just being shitty people, like this show just had, like you were saying, so much fucking potential. Because the one complaint that a lot of people had about Ruby is that it's not an anime. It's not an actual anime. So for it to actually get a studio to actually do actual anime work on it was like, holy shit, this is a really good opportunity. Especially with it being a completely different story. Mm-hmm. Totally, like, in between, I think...
Yeah, in between Volumes 1 and 2.
In between Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, the whole, like... And for anyone that, like, isn't familiar, Studio Shaft is a legit studio. Like, they did Bakemonogatari and they did Madoka Magica. So, like,
they've done good shit.
They're legit. They have a track record. This show just screams to me because it goes through all of Volume 1 in the first 3 episodes.
Yep.
And then spends the rest of the series on the course of 2 weeks. Like, the pacing is just awful.
The pacing is bad.
The pacing is bad, and, like, the character... The show exists to make 1.5 characters better. Yeah. It's the Weiss show.
It's the Weiss show.
Because she needs more, like, characterization.
God knows she needed to be a better fucking character.
And to their credit, she is, like, a better written character now.
She is, 100%.
They give her room to go from, suddenly, instead of just, oh, I'm not racist anymore, they show her getting, like, being corrected from her racism, which is much needed to making her a good character. And they kind of do the same with Blake and make Blake better, but then no one else gets anything to do. And if I have to hear Anime Ruby say Waisu one more time, I'm going to blow my brains out.
You are making it so hard to not just start ranting about this fucking series.
You want to make it...
I have so many things I need to say about this fucking show.
The floor is yours.
Oh, God.
Do it.
Man, so, for anyone who knows me, I used to be a huge fucking Ruby fan. As early as, like, 3 years ago. Used to be a huge Ruby fan. I was watching all the volumes and all the episodes when they came out. I was in love with it, yada, yada, yada. I was even, unfortunately, in the fandom for a while. for lack of judgment.
It's okay, this is a safe place.
Is this a safe place? Am I allowed to come out about this?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, for lack of a better term, I watched better shows. And the more I thought about it, and the more I talked to people about it, I was just like, whatever did I find interesting about this show? Like, let me start with, like, the timeline, right? So Volume 1 through 3, it's just 4 girls going to school, like a magical school type deal, which, maybe a little bit of a cliche concept, but it can work. You can do a lot with that.
There's a reason that some things are cliches, because they can work.
They can work.
Yeah, that's why Harry Potter exists. That's why the X-Men exist. It works.
Yeah, there's a lot of antics you can do with that, and there's a lot of interesting characters you can throw in that. That's one of those settings where it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a lot of characters, which Ruby did. They had a lot of fucking characters. For better or worse.
Worse.
Much worse.
The amount of named characters that get, like, 2 scenes is outrageous.
Now, when the show first came out, the late Monty Ohm was still in charge of it. Mm-hmm. Bless his soul. I fucking miss that man. Because, God, I cannot even imagine how different the show would look if he was still around. But you know, so the show was definitely rough around the edges a bit. Whether it's from an animation standpoint or from a voice acting standpoint. But you gotta realize a lot of the voice acting was, like, just people in the office. So, like, who had never done voice acting to begin with.
And to that credit, both of those aspects do get better.
Yes.
They get significantly better.
Significantly better. Except for Ruby.
She's okay.
You know,
She's okay.
it gets very grating after a while.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the volume 1 through 3's issues aside, it was a very interesting concept with a lot of cool ideas, especially from like the magic aspect of things, where it's like you could use dust to do magic. You had all these cool fucking customized weapons. Coolest part of the show, the weapons.
Oh, absolutely.
100 fucking percent.
I don't think anyone will dispute the fact that just the weapons are cool as hell.
That is why I do not care that I have a full fucking size...
A sniper scythe.
I have a full fucking crescent rose in my office. I don't fucking care. It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, gunchucks, fucking shotgun gauntlets.
Oh my god.
Sniper scythe.
No, can I talk about fucking Sun's weapon really quick? His fucking nunchucks that are also guns that can turn into a fucking bow staff. Yes!
Yeah, that shit's so fucking rad.
Give me that shit. I love that kind of stuff. Like, it... So many cool ideas and cool ideas for characters that are actually based... I mean, even just talking about Sun, literally based on Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Every single character is based on either some legend...
Or fairy tale.
Yeah.
Which is such an interesting idea. Because, obviously, you know, Ruby Rose, based off of Little Red Riding Hood.
Weiss-Schnee is just Snow White.
To a T.
Yeah.
Blake is based off of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And then Yang is Goldilocks from...
Goldilocks. Yeah.
Like, that is such a fucking cool idea. And obviously there's a bunch of other characters who are based on other things. I still think it's hilarious that Nora is based on Thor for some reason.
Lightning and hammer.
I don't know why that was the idea.
And then
but her hammer
Mulan for some reason.
Yeah, but then also Nora's hammer turns into a grenade launcher, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah, Jean is Jeanne d'Arc.
Jeanne d'Arc, for better or worse.
Yeah. It's fine. He gets better.
He definitely a character that I was like okay with. Like I could see his growth was actually really interesting to watch.
I would say like if the show has one actually good character, Jean is like the closest it has.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, despite its, you know, messy start potentially to some people and some of the janky animation and some of the writing decisions, it had a good thing going. And as much as you know, the more they got good funding, things could progress. And then Volume 3 happened. And...
Hey, Volume 3 was the best
Volume 3 is the best one. However, it set the show up to just nonsense. It made it set the show up to put it in a direction that it did not fucking need to do. It did not need... Because literally, had the ending... Spoiler warning, the school gets destroyed. By the bad guys.
Oh no, you're spoiling a 7-year-old show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it gets destroyed by Cinder, who I equally have problems with. And Pyrrha dies.
Yeah.
Which is a great setup.
Yeah.
It's a great setup to have one of the like most beloved characters in the series die. And then just see how they're going to fucking handle this.
Yeah.
You know how you could have handled that? Find a way to rebuild the school. Maybe, you know, rebuild the school. Get everyone back together to, like, you know, figure out how to move on from there. Still make it, you know, surrounded around going to school and stuff like that. And not split the main fucking cast up into 4 different areas of the world.
See, that's the one thing that if I could be there to like fix the storyboarding for Ruby, that's the thing that I would change from like the conception stage, because like Yang would not be moping around in her dad's house.
No, she wouldn't be.
She would be like on the front lines. Give me a mechanical arm. I'm jumping in. You cannot stop me. And then dealing with her trauma on the fly. That is what Yang would do.
And that's not to say that like, you know, making a character have trauma is a bad thing.
No, because fucking we just gushed over Sakura and Bocchi.
Exactly. So like having Yang get her arm cut off, which was like, you know, a huge thing for her, have that being a centerpiece of the continuing story is not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah.
How you go about it is what's the important part.
Yeah. And they did it terribly.
And they did it fucking awfully. They just immediately gave her a new arm. Cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. But, throughout the time, she still had these hints of trauma from that same event. And then in Volume 6, she runs into Adam, whom she had the trauma from, and is just totally okay?
She's fine. What
happened?
She got a pep talk from her dad and the dog and the professor, and now I'm good.
That's not how trauma works!
But that's what therapy is. It's talking to people about your problems and then you get better. Right? That's how that works.
Oh my god.
Just, like, Blake running off on her own, okay, I can kind of see it.
It
makes sense for her character.
Blake doing it makes sense, because had it just been Blake and the other three had been together the whole fucking time...
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah, if the other three were, like, trying to find Blake.
But then in that scenario, because that did technically happen in Volume 5, where the three of them got together and Blake was still off on her own.
Yeah.
Like, fucking make it mean something. Like, when they actually get back together. Because when they got back together, it's like, oh, everything's fine now.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Yang and Blake, they kind of had their own thing. But, that's a whole other fucking can of worms.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We
I don't even want to fucking talk about the fucking stupid relationships in that fucking show. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no. Ruby is not good. If you're one of our friends that we met online or whatever, where, like, you are still a big Ruby fan or whatever, you enjoy the show, Good
for you. If you want to continue to watch the show and enjoy it for what it is and continue to buy shit from them, even though that means you're directly giving money to Rooster Teeth, that's a whole other issue.
I was gonna say, I would just not give money to Rooster Teeth.
Just not give money to Rooster Teeth. That's you could do that. However, if you want to keep watching the show, sure, go right ahead. I'm not gonna judge you. That's totally fine. You do your own thing. However, good God, man.
Yeah.
You
want to get out of Ruby Purgatory? Watch Fate. It worked for Jace.
It sure worked for me. I got out of there real quick.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Because I watched good shows.
Yeah.
Finally.
And
it's. I didn't even get to talk about Volume 7. Volume 7 is what made
We're not talking about Volume 7.
I will save my Volume 7 rant for when we have Cole on the show and we can talk about shows we used to hate.
Yeah, no, the Volume 7 rant is not for now.
If y'all think I have issues with Volume 1 through 6, you haven't even heard my issues with Volume 7, which unironically used to be my favorite volume.
I don't know how.
And then I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, this is dog shit. And then they didn't make it any better with Volume 8. Because they were like, let's give Cinder a backstory finally. And they did. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like the writers of Rooster Teeth are all incompetent and always have been.
Crazy.
That's what happens when you have people that make Achievement Hunter, Minecraft, Xbox 360 write a show.
That's a good point. That being said, that was fun to watch.
That was a very fun thing to watch in middle school when it wasn't an actual series that was trying to be serious.
And then, and all of the people weren't pedophiles. Anyway.
Yeah. You know what's a show that wasn't made by pedophiles? Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
What a segue.
The greatest
segue.
The best segue in the West, baby.
Now, full disclosure, I haven't actually seen Cyberpunk, so I have no opinion on the show. What I will say was I was definitely worried about the show at first because of the immediate reception from the actual game of Cyberpunk, because that shit hit so bad.
So that's what I want to actually touch on. When I first heard about Cyberpunk, I saw that it was a show that came out and was like, oh, that's weird. And then I looked into it a little bit and I'm like, oh, this is Studio Trigger making a Cyberpunk anime.
Yeah.
This is an infamous game for having a terrible launch with an infamous studio for only making 2 good shows,
which were
Kill la Kill and then Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
This is the perfect storm.
There's no way this show is going to be good.
And it's unironically a 9 out of 10 for me.
That's so cool.
I really like Edge Runners. It's it is a brutal story of what happens in post late stage corporate greed mixed with just rampant crime. mixed with like technology way beyond humanity.
Which is what Cyberpunk was supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's really fucking cool how much of that is conveyed in this 10-episode series. There's a lot...
And you don't have to worry about game-breaking glitches.
No, you don't, and it's wonderful.
It's awesome. Or frame rate issues.
No, it genuinely, like, there was, like, in our Discord, there was, like, some conversation, like, oh, Cyberpunk just won some, like, website's Anime of the Year. I wouldn't agree, but good for them. And I'm like, I think that this is one of two where I can see an argument. Because, like, it's genuinely a lot smarter than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah.
And not even, like, as an expansion to Cyberpunk, like, as the game. It's just actually handles these issues with a lot of class and taste. And David Martinez, the protagonist, is maybe the best protagonist of the year.
Yeah, I remember I had my initial thoughts on it when it, like, I saw that it got announced, and I was like, this isn't gonna end well. And I saw one scene.
Which scene? Does he go fast?
No, he was getting the shit beat out of him. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Well, was he wearing the yellow jacket?
I have no idea.
We'll fucking figure this out.
And I watched, like, the animation and, like, the voice acting and stuff. I'm like, this looks really good, actually.
Both the dub and sub voice acting are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both
Who did
versions.
they get to dub voice?
Zach Aguilar.
Never heard of him. Her name doesn't sound familiar to me.
I'm looking for any other characters that they've done that you might know. Fuck, I don't recognize any of these characters.
Well,
other notable roles is Yarrow from Pokemon,
nice,
and Sieg from Fate Apocrypha.
Oh God!
Wow, the glow up from those roles. Holy! Tanjiro in Demon Slayer.
Oh, he's Tanjiro.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And Genos in One Punch Man. Otto in the dub for ReZero.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Otto.
He's a good voice actor. He's good.
I miss ReZero.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the dub goes hard. The dub is great, like, unironically.
Interesting. Okay.
I would say, like, genuinely, to anyone that, like, if you can handle gore and if you can handle very adult subject matter, it's definitely, like, TVMA, but definitely check it out.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out at some point because I know Seth is also, like, super wanting to watch the show. So
yeah,
might have to check that out at some point.
Great date night.
Yeah. So, all right, my turn because I have one more thing I need to talk about.
Oh God,
a very important thing I need to talk about. Now, I mentioned how Mob Psycho, you know, if I said mechanically, like, it would be like 1 or 2 on, like, best anime. Now, if I had to talk mechanically on any sort of media, Higurashi is number 1.
Yeah, you have.
So we actually recorded a little bit of behind the scenes. We actually recorded the 3x3 a while ago, and we ended up scrapping it because it wasn't that good.
No.
But when we recorded it, I hadn't finished Higurashi yet.
Now that
I have now finished Higurashi, and I can comfortably say it is the best thing I have ever consumed.
But Attack on Titan.
Shut your mouth. I don't know. There's not a lot of things out there. I mean, there is. There's a good chunk.
There are a lot of things out there. Yes.
There's a lot of things out there. There's not a lot of things out there that'll hook me, like, for as long as something like Higurashi. Because keep in mind, I was reading it. I mean, off and on, obviously. I didn't finish it. Like, I started it about 8 months ago. And I just finished it about a month ago.
Yeah.
So there's like a 7-month time frame where I was reading it off and on, trying to finish it whenever I could. And the whole time, even when I had, like, longer breaks with not reading it, it was just so consistently on point with everything it was doing. The characters are so well fleshed out. The story is so fucking interesting, and it just gets better and better the more the story goes on, because it's a mystery. So you don't know everything right off the bat, and the thing I love about it is that it wants you to ask questions, it wants you to make your own theories, and I think that is such an interesting thing that not a lot of other medias, like, encourage. you know. But it like actively is like, hey, what do you think happened? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just
like context. The game literally does do that at like the end of each major chapter.
Yeah.
They'll have like a cast party where the characters are like out of character, completely fourth wall break. Oh, what do you think happened?
What do you think happened? Why did this event happen? How far have you gotten?
It's basically the same place as last time.
Which is
Chapter 2. I don't know the truth about the thing yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I know the thing, but I don't know the thing.
I got you.
Yeah.
But it's just, oh my god, dude, I struggle so hard to talk about this thing because it's just.
Well, what are you comfortable with saying?
It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
all right. That
there
is
we
go.
go.
There's a cell.
I don't care if it gets me shot and killed in the streets. I think Higurashi is like the most perfect thing I think I've ever consumed. And that's saying a lot for something that is a very, very, very long visual novel.
Even with like the ending, like I don't want to call it a final battle because that's not quite right.
Not quite right.
But like with the last like
the last bit of
it. The climax.
Yeah. Because I would argue there's like 4 or 5 climaxes within the entire thing.
Yeah.
Where you learn like the big mysteries and all that stuff.
The one with the final one.
Yeah. I say this every time that I try to shill Higurashi to anybody. For the love of God, the first chapter is free. It's on Steam. There's an easy mod where you can download the console sprites, which are 10 times better than both the new and the old ones.
Why you don't like the old sprites?
For the love of God, do not use the old sprites.
The old sprites are so charming, though.
But it'll take you out of the fucking...
But it's so funny.
I don't care.
They're so funny. I like
for the love of God, the first chapter is free. Just download it, try it out, see what you think. And if you don't like it, you don't have to get the rest of them. If you do, you will find yourself spiraling down a rabbit hole that is going to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Because holy shit.
Yeah, you thought that Fate was a convoluted series with different branches and offshoots and timelines and bullshit. Dude,
you have no idea.
Higurashi, Umineko, whatever the fuck the third one is, there's a fighting game based on Umineko.
Yep.
And it's all like multiple sections. It's fucking convoluted.
Yeah. Umineko is definitely like my next big project probably because I really want to continue this series.
You know what else could be your next big project?
If you say FGO, I'm going to kick you in the face.
I was about to, and then I remembered Hollow Ataraxia exists.
That too. I also need to read the original Fate Stay Night. But anyway.
I'm still surprised that you haven't yet. Anyway,
but yeah, Higurashi is peak fiction. I am not even kidding. Like, if you have not... Also, if you have never seen or consumed Higurashi in any form, please, for the love of God, just read the visual novel.
Yeah.
Please do not watch the anime. The anime will give you a very skewed idea of how good this show or how good this series is.
It's very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
If you want the peak Higurashi experience, you need to just read the visual novel.
I was gonna say because I started getting into anime in like late 2000s, early 2010s. And it was impossible to dodge spoilers for Higurashi because like every fucking Halloween like AMV that ever came out had like 500,000 scenes from Higurashi.
And that one scene in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like it was impossible for me to dodge spoilers on it. And then I just got like accidentally spoiled on a lot of things because I decided that I was gonna try to watch the new Higurashi anime that came out. Thinking it was a remake. It wasn't a remake.
It was not a remake.
No. At the beginning of episode 2, I was like, wait, why is this is endgame spoilers.
Yeah, episode 2 they spoil a lot.
They spoil like everything in episode 2.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, because it's not a remake.
You know what's really funny that
sequel.
I noticed though? So did you notice in the new Higurashi anime they have like all their mouths are doing like the 3 thing, like the kitty face?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because that's how their mouths looked in the original sprites for Higurashi.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
I didn't realize that. Well, because at first I was like, this looks really weird, and then I looked at the sprites. I'm like, wait, these are this. Wait a minute.
That's actually kind of.
These are the same.
That's pretty neat.
They didn't make their hand sizes the same, but you know.
Thank God.
Thank God.
They don't have bowling ball hands. Shit.
I will shill Higurashi till the day I die. That visual novel is so fucking incredible, and you need to read it if you haven't. It's so fucking good.
Just last thing that I want to touch on for need to reads. Open up Chrome right now.
On it. Hold
on. I'll pull up in post. Look up Oshinoko.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Oshi no Ko is a manga written by the same author as Akasaka, same author as Kage-sama Love is War. And he is collabing on this second title called Oshi no Ko, which is my favorite manga ever now that I'm caught up to it. There's one character named Kana Arima. Look at her.
Oh, she's adorable.
Look at her.
She's adorable.
Look at her. She is the greatest thing.
She's so angry.
I love her.
She's adorable.
I fucking love her so much. You want to talk about best, like, characters that I am simping for?
Her.
I love her so much.
Interesting. Did you have any other shows you want to talk about? Because I'm done with my list now, so.
I don't have any other shows that I especially want to talk about in this. Because, like, we talked about Bocchi. I talked about Blue Lock with Braden. Talked about Spy Family and how aggressively mid it is.
Heaven's Feel again.
Yeah. One other show that I think everyone should watch to have an opinion on, Like Horse Recoil. The sales pitch, the elevator pitch for that show is cute anime girls are gay and do counterterrorism. There you go. There's the sales pitch.
I love that.
It's great. It's great.
Yes, I'm watching it. Shit.
Yeah, there you go. Chisato is like best girl of the year, and it's not close.
Really?
Yes, better than Bocchi. She single-handedly carries that show from like a 6 to an 8
Interesting.
by herself. She's phenomenal.
I did want to check that show out.
Yeah, it's fun. Do you like shut the brain off action shows? Do you like girls being gay?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I would say that probably brings us to the end of this first anime-centric episode, though.
I would agree.
If you have any other, animes that you enjoyed this year, that whether it came out this year or it didn't, you just watched it for the first time this year, tell us about it. Because
Yeah.
I want to hear how you guys feel about this stuff.
Yeah, and let us know if there's anything that we should watch. If we ever do like an episode where we do like reviewing viewer submitted shows or anything like that,
Yeah.
I think that could be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Post comments if you want to. Fucking tell us what shows we should review and watch.
You're not allowed to say Ashita no Joe because we're going to watch that.
We're going to
anyway.
watch that anyway. We'll talk about
But
it.
before we have Cole on, we have to watch
We have to watch
Ashita no Joe.
Joe. Because
Yeah.
I want to be able to have a conversation about it.
Yeah,
'Cause
same.
You also
Same.
need to finish Higurashi before he comes on the show.
Those are the two very hard qualifiers for
Come
me,
on.
dude. Dude, I only have so much
Hop
time
to
in a
it.
day. Come on, man.
Uh,
I'm doing my best. I'm following 6 shows this season.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. This has been Kotalksu, the talk show at Kotatsu, and we will see you all at the next one.
Bye.
Bye.